So lucky not to get pinged for lying to a court in her court case. I thought Harry was very lucky to be allowed to sue, I think it was Daily Mirror or something, for damages, despite his fantasy.
Okay, so here is the gist. Prince Harry just faced a major rejection, not from the media, but from the same royal system he left. He asked for $13 million to save his failing charity in the UK, and it would have come from taxpayers. But the authorities blocked it fast. And this hit him harder, because it was not only about money, but a reminder of the truth he keeps avoiding.
Unlikely at the moment, just basically because he's been knocked back already so far. And this is the Home Office that are going against him here and basically just saying, you are now not a working royal. The thing will be is on a case-by-case basis.
Like, can we talk about the drama? Harry kept saying he wanted freedom and no royal perks. But the second his project started falling apart and his charity was close to going broke, he ran straight back, trying to grab royal money. And that is so wild, because it shows how shaky his independence really is. He talked big about living free from the monarchy, but clearly when things get tough, he still looks back at the very system he swore he was done with.
I think everyone would think if he's going to visit his family or take part in some kind of royal duties or at a royal event, then yeah, of course, you would get police protection. But if it is just that you want to come round and strut up and down the King's Road or something along those lines, I mean, the biggest joke in all of this is that what he's trying to claim.
Harry says he is independent, but still leans on the crown. He trashes the monarchy in public, then asks for money in private. And the grant he wanted is only for royals who still work and serve. But he left that life years ago and now wants the same support as those still doing the duty he gave up.
Would have a detrimental impact on his charity work if he was attacked. Okay, so aside from his own personal security, a detrimental work on his charity work. Well, you know, we're not actually seeing a huge amount of charity work from Prince Harry, and it does equate to something like 1 hour a month that he appears to be doing alongside Meghan Markle, and most of that is based in California.
The UK shutting him down was more than just about money. It was like them saying loud and clear, you cannot take royal perks without royal duty. And Harry wanted the perks without the work, but it backfired bad. And now his charity crumbling right after this refusal just makes it even more embarrassing, because it was supposed to shine under him, but instead it is falling apart.
Patrick, such cynicism in one so young. But Patrick, the West has a real immigration crisis. I mean, I was just looking at the US, more than 2 million illegal immigrants pouring over the border in just 1 year.
Harry had the fame, the rich friends, and the royal name that should have kept the charity strong. But instead, under his watch, it is sinking. Staff do not know what will happen. Programs might be cut, and people who needed help could lose it all because he looked for a royal bailout instead of handling things wisely. This is not just about missing money. It shows he failed as a leader, and now the collapse of the charity is what people will remember as his legacy.
Harry has given a new interview to the BBC after losing his UK police protection case. The court ruling against his claim that the security entitlements were downgraded due to him being singled.
Harry keeps proving he cannot lead anything without falling back on the monarchy. He says he hates, and the UK saying no just showed how irrelevant he has become. Because back when Queen Elizabeth was alive, maybe his request would have been considered out of respect. But now things have changed. The crown is moving forward with King Charles and Prince William, while Harry stands outside the circle. And once you are out, you do not get taxpayer money or special treatment. You are just like anyone else asking for help.
Holding instead that it was reasonable given that he had abandoned his royal duties and moved to the US. But here he bizarrely claims that he is still entitled.
And honestly, this might be the harshest hit yet, because Harry has been working so hard to look important. But this rejection ripped away that image in front of everyone. And the fact that he begged for money after shouting about independence just proves what people have been saying all along. He craves the perks without the work, the fame without the duty. And this is not what a man looks like when he is building a strong new life on his own terms.
No longer a working royal, a change in your status. Do you not accept that from the court?
Well, my status hasn't changed. It can't change. I am who I am. I am part of what I'm part of, and I can never escape that.
This whole thing just shows Harry cannot stand on his own without clinging to the same system he ditched. And that huge grant he asked for was like a risky move that backfired hard. Now everyone sees how dependent he really is, and the British people are extra upset because they are already struggling with money problems. And then here he wanted 13 million of their tax cash to save his own projects while living it up in California. And honestly, the UK saying no was not only smart leadership, but exactly what the public wanted.
Get it, does he?
I mean, it's unfortunate that it's taken Prince Harry 40 years to learn the definition of the word consequences, but it was Princess Diana herself that referred to her youngest son as thick, and here it was on full display. Harry said himself in that interview that he has no regrets. He does not regret it.
People are just over Harry and his back and forth, and this rejection showed that so clearly the whole mess did not end with the UK saying no. It spread into royal and political circles too, where people were straight up calling it a reminder that Harry has no claim to the perks he once thought were his forever. And the way insiders put it was brutal. They basically told him, "You are not a working royal anymore." And for someone like Harry who still tries to act like he has a place in the monarchy, those words must have cut deep.
No accountability for his own destructive actions. This was something that was presented to him at the Sandringham Summit. If you step down, if you leave, you will not... Can you imagine quitting any job and assuming you are going to still get the perks of that job?
This shutdown completely crushed the idea that Harry can live half royal, half free. Because the moment he walked away, the money ties were cut too. And now it is clear he cannot just pick the perks without the work. He wanted freedom, but freedom does not come with taxpayer cash. And what makes it worse is the anger from donors who trusted him for years. They put money and faith into the charity, thinking his name would keep it safe. But instead, with him in charge, it has been dragged into a mess. And now those same supporters feel totally betrayed.
I will say that there have been whispers that Harry has been desperately trying to connect with his father and brother through old friends and retired courtiers. Neither have taken the bait, but classic Harry, just like you heard there, refusing to follow protocol.
Donors now see that their support was never enough, because instead of smart planning or new fundraising, Harry went straight for taxpayer money. And that made it obvious he cannot keep the charity alive on his own. And with bankruptcy hanging over it, this is more than just lost funds. It is a huge blow to his image, showing he cannot be trusted to lead. And this failed request completely ruins the story he has been pushing since leaving the UK, that he wanted freedom and no ties to the royal system.
And see, the fallout from this case has extended to Harry's relationship with his father, King Charles. Here he speaks about wanting a reconciliation.
I would love reconciliation with my family. There's no point in continuing to fight anymore. As I said, life is precious.
He always talked about starting fresh and living free from the royal system. But this whole scandal shows something totally different, because his charities and projects clearly cannot survive without the royal name behind them. And the moment he tried to get money from the sovereign grant, it was like he admitted, without saying a word, that he still needs the monarchy to stay afloat. And honestly, that is the biggest contradiction of all. The public sees straight through it. A man who spent years giving speeches about independence and freedom has now been exposed as still clinging to the safety net he pretends to hate. And the UK saying no did not just block him. It ripped away the image he was trying so hard to protect, leaving him looking entitled, hypocritical, and completely out of touch.
True, is he refusing to talk to his son because of security stuff?
No, keep in mind, this is not the first time Harry has claimed to the media that his father cut him off. Meghan claims Prince Harry lost his father during their original Netflix series, and Harry told Oprah Winfrey back in
And the most shocking part in all of this drama is that even King Charles did not step in to save Harry. Because back in the day, Harry could have counted on his father to whisper a quiet word behind the scenes or make some secret arrangement to protect him from embarrassment. But now things have changed completely. Charles stayed silent and offered no protection, no favors, nothing at all. And that silence speaks louder than any statement, showing that even his own father is not willing to shield him anymore.
Later to be revealed that Harry was allegedly calling to harass the then Prince Charles about money, with Charles reportedly telling Queen Elizabeth, "I'm not an ATM." Do you remember those reports? So this is not the first time Prince Harry has said, "Daddy won't take my call."
Reports are saying that Charles kept quiet and let the whole request be blocked, without even trying to step in. And honestly, that silence says more than words ever could, because it shows that even inside the royal family, people are tired of Harry and the endless drama. He is not being treated like a prince who needs to be rescued anymore. He is being treated like an outsider who has to live with the choices he made. The monarchy has already moved forward with Charles and William at the center. And in their eyes, Harry asking for taxpayer money is not only wrong, it is deeply insulting to the crown, especially after he has spent years attacking and criticizing it. So this rejection was also a message from the family itself that they are done protecting him.
Prince William and the king spoke to him after Prince Philip's funeral and said, hey, pump the brakes. There's a way for us to work this out. That's in like the first chapter of his book. So how can anybody trust this guy?
Charles refusing to step in is the clearest sign that Harry has burned every bridge, and there is no way back now. No matter how much he pleads, the royal perks he once enjoyed are gone for good, and this rejection is the proof that the door is shut tight.
Precisely right, and that's why a source close to the king has told the Daily Mail that Harry's BBC interview has made things worse. And the quote there is, it's not that the king won't speak to him, it's that he can't.
When you look at this whole situation and add in the fact that his charity is on the edge of bankruptcy, it creates an even more devastating picture of where Harry stands today. He is no longer inside the monarchy. He is completely shut out by the UK establishment, and even the donors who once poured money and trust into him have now turned their backs, leaving him with nothing but a broken reputation that was supposed to be built on service leadership and independence. But instead, this scandal proves the exact opposite, because it shows that Harry is not the independent figure he has always claimed to be. Every time the royal backing disappears, his projects collapse right in front of him. And now, with the refusal of the grant, the silence from his father, the anger of the public, and the failure of his charity, it all comes together as a moment that strips away the last bit of image he was holding on to, making him look weak, desperate, and unable to stand without the system he abandoned.
If the King Charles, if Prince William, Kate, anyone talks to him or Meghan, it's just more content for the next book or
The sovereign grant fiasco really seals the truth about Harry, because no matter how loudly he talks about wanting to be free from the monarchy, he still cannot survive without trying to lean on it, even though that same institution has made it very clear it wants nothing to do with him anymore. And the rejection itself was bad enough behind closed palace doors. But what really turned this into a full-scale humiliation was how the British public reacted. People are angry, and they have every reason to be, because here is a man who spent years giving interviews, tearing down the monarchy, blaming it for everything wrong in his life, insisting he wanted freedom, swearing he would never rely on royal privilege again. And yet the moment his project started falling apart, he tried to quietly dip into 13 million of taxpayer money to rescue himself and his failing charity. And that is what pushed the outrage over the top, because ordinary people who are already struggling see him living a life of luxury in California, while at the same time asking them to foot the bill. And now this scandal has not only ruined his image even more, but also confirmed in the eyes of the public that Harry is not independent at all. He is desperate dependent and completely out of touch with reality. At a moment when people across the UK are struggling with bills, food, rent, fuel, and even basic services that are already stretched thin, the fact that Harry thought he could take millions of pounds from taxpayers to fix his badly run charity comes across as a huge insult. And honestly, people are not just annoyed by the hypocrisy. They are boiling with anger at the audacity, because for ordinary citizens, this proves that Harry has completely lost touch with reality, while families are counting every penny and facing real pressure. He is sitting in his giant Montecito mansion, living in luxury, with staff and security, yet somehow felt entitled to reach into the pockets of those same taxpayers to cover up his own mistakes and failures. And that one reckless move has torn down the last pieces of his carefully built image, because now the public sees him for what he really is: not an independent leader, not a strong figure standing on his own, but a man who is arrogant, spoiled, and totally disconnected from the everyday struggles of the people he once claimed to represent. And this rejection, more than anything else, shows that the gap between Harry and the public is now wider than it has ever been. Hey guys, if you loved this tea and want more juicy royal updates and deep dives, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss a breakdown from me. Bella Breaks Down, where we spill all the drama and give you the real story behind every headline.